Today, we're diving into a really big deal happening in Sri Lanka. It's a legal change, yeah, but it's one with some serious muscle behind it, all about protecting public money. And look, this isn't just some dry government procedure. This is about your money, the taxes you pay, and what happens when that money gets wasted.
First things first, this isn't some brand new law that just appeared out of thin air. We're talking about an amendment, a major upgrade to the National Audit Act that's been around since 2018. So you can think of it like this. The security system on the National Treasury just got a massive overhaul. We're talking sharper teeth and a much, much faster alarm.
And let's bring this right down to you. I mean, have you ever wondered what actually happens when your tax money, the cash that's supposed to pay for roads, schools, hospitals, is just wasted or worse, stolen by public officials? Well, this new amendment tackles that exact question head on. All right, so how's this whole thing going to work? Here's our roadmap. First, we'll get into the basics of what gives this law its new teeth. Then we'll look at a real game changer, making it mandatory to report fraud. After that, we'll check out the new independent committee that's in charge and see how the penalties for messing up have gotten way tougher. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and answer the biggest question. Why does any of this actually matter to you?
Okay, so let's set the stage. The original 2018 law, it was a decent start. It gave the Auditor-General the power to go after officials who lost public money. But this amendment, this is all about turning that power into real, concrete, you can't get out of it consequences.
So this change builds right on top of that 2018 foundation. And to really get what makes it so powerful, there are a couple of key terms you absolutely need to know. First up is this word surcharge. Now, a surcharge isn't just a fine, it's a very specific penalty designed to get back the exact amount of public money that was lost because of what an official did or didn't do. It's all about making the public financially whole again.
And the second term is advertent negligence. This one is so important. We're not talking about an honest mistake here, a simple slip-up. This is about when an official knows there's a serious risk. They see the danger, but they just fail to take reasonable steps to prevent it. And because of that, public money is lost.
So, with those ideas in mind, let's get to the first huge change. And believe me, this is a big one. Reporting fraud, it's not a suggestion anymore. It's mandatory. Before, there was a lot of wiggle room. Now, there is a clear, non-negotiable duty to act. And here is the absolute core of it, that one little word in all caps, must. When the Auditor-General finds what looks like fraud, they tell the head of that government agency. And now, that agency head must go to the police or another law enforcement authority. There's no more discretion. No more, we'll look into it. The option to just sweep it under the rug, it's gone. Legally, it's off the table. But you might be thinking, what if the boss is the one being accused? Well, the law has a plan for that. If the finger is pointed at the agency head themselves, the Auditor-General just bypasses them completely and reports straight to the Secretary to the Cabinet of Ministers. It's a crucial check and balance built right into the system. Okay, so someone has to report the fraud. But who actually decides to slap on those surcharges? That brings us to the next massive change. To avoid any conflicts of interest, that power is being ripped away from the agency itself and given to a brand new, totally independent group. See, it used to be that the agency head was involved in this process. Not anymore. Now, all the power to impose a surcharge is in the hands of this new Surcharge Review Committee. And that's a huge shift. It's designed to make sure these decisions are impartial and based on facts, not on politics or who you know. And just look at who's on this committee. It's built for one thing, independence. You've got a retired senior judge running the show. You have experts in finance, law, auditing. You've even got someone nominated by the Institute of Chartered Accountants. And here's the key part. Nobody from the National Audit Office can be on it. That creates a firewall, a clear separation between the people who investigate and the people who make the final call. And here is where it comes right back to you. This committee has to publish a full report on its website twice a year. You'll be able to see the cases they looked at, the surcharges they ordered, and how much money was actually recovered. It's a whole new level of transparency, where you can actually see the system at work. So, we've got mandatory reporting and an independent committee. Great, but what happens if officials just decide to ignore the rules or try to block an investigation? Well, this is where the amendment really raises the stakes, with some seriously tough new penalties. Honestly, the difference here is like night and day.
Before, if you blocked an audit, you might get a relatively small fine. Now, an official who doesn't comply could be looking at a fine of up to 100,000 rupees and jail time, potentially up to a year or even 3 years for some offenses. This totally changes the game. It moves noncompliance from a slap on the wrist to a serious crime. Okay, let's pull all these legal details together and talk about what this means in the real world. Why should you, the average citizen, actually care about all this stuff in the National Audit Amendment Act?
Here's the bottom line. For you, for every citizen, this law means faster action when there's corruption. It means there's now an independent process that's just focused on one thing, getting stolen money back into the Treasury. It means officials can be held personally and financially responsible for their actions. And with those public reports, you get to see that justice is actually being served. It's all about creating a stronger, clearer path to protecting the money that belongs to all of us. So when you look at it all, this law has been designed to give Sri Lanka's public finance watchdog some very, very sharp new teeth. The system for accountability is stronger than it has ever been, but the big question, the one we'll all be watching, is this: will it actually be enough to bite?